G'day, my name's Pat Doolin. You know what? I have the pleasure to be able to introduce to you one of my famous mentors. You're going to know him as Mr. Gold. Mr. Gold has some extremely important information to share with you. He's got all the facts. He's a fun guy to be around. He's a family man. And my goodness, he has made a lot of money in this industry. Without further ado, welcome Mr. Gold. Thank you very much.
Thanks Pat for that flattering introduction. Hi everyone, thanks for joining this training seminar today. I'm going to get straight into it, so get out your pens and pads. Have you ever thought how great business skills might just have started from fruit picking?
Mr. Gold, what do you mean by fruit picking?
I'm glad you asked that, Jessica. I'll get to that in a minute, and it will all become clear. What if I were to tell you outrageous success in networking comes down to the simple process of identifying who to spend time with, and who to put into the education pipeline, and who to put on the back burner? You watched Pat talk about crafting a curiosity-piquing invitation, right? If you haven't, you need to go watch it first. We are now going to share with you the importance of identifying number 1, ripe apples, number 2, green apples, and number 3, rotten apples.
Mr. Gold, what have apples got to do with my business?
Jessica, it's a simple metaphor. Number 1, ripe apples, an easy to remember name we give to people who are, yes people, you know the types. You ask them to go out to the movies, they say sure let's go. You ask them to go to the beach, yeah sure they say. You ask them to go to the ball game, yeah sure let's go. You invite them to look at your cash flow concept, yeah sure I'll take a look. Easy way to remember ripe apples, they are ready to eat. Ripe apples are ready to say yes. Make sense?
Absolutely. Yes, that makes perfect sense. So what about the green and rotten apples?
Before we go any further, please understand, ripe, green, and rotten apples, it's not about the people being good or bad people, it's about the attitude they have right now.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, green apples are people who ask you questions. You ask them to go out to the movies. They say, which movie, what time, where at, who is going with. You ask them if they want to go with you to the beach. They say, which beach, what time, have you checked the weather, who is going with. You ask them to go to the ball game. They say who is playing, what time, who is going with. You invite a green apple to look at your cash flow concept. Instead of trusting you and saying, I'll take a look, they say, what is it? Have you done your due diligence? Have you researched every possible aspect of the business? They want to know if the market will bear this concept. They want to know if there is saturation in the marketplace. They might think it needs to be unique, if it has any chance of survival. Easy way to remember green apples are not ready to eat yet. Green apples are not ready to say yes yet. Make sense?
Oh, I just realized. I know so many green apples.
That's great, green apples are awesome. They just aren't ripe yet. Okay, what about those rotten apples? They just simply say, nope not interested, nope don't have time, no can't see it happening, no don't think it's possible. It's at one of those pyramid schemes.
OMG. Yes, I know rotten apples everywhere.
So, now that you know what we mean by ripe, green, and rotten apples, why is this important? Okay, before we get into that, let's have a quick break.
I had no idea how important fruit picking is to my business. Has Mr. Gold got to the $10,000 apples yet? No, tell me more. I don't want to ruin the entire point of your training, Jessica. Mr. Gold will get to in good time. Now I'm all excited to get back in there. I'll see you after I'm done.
Welcome back. All ready to get going?
Mr. Gold, I just have to ask, what is the $10,000 apple?
Have you been talking with Pat, or Victoria? Okay, I will get to it. In fact, that's what this segment is all about. But before we get into that, let me share with you variations of green, and rotten apples. First we have the super smart green apple. This one just has to be right 100% of the time. And the super rotten apple, not only are they negative, but they will go out of their way to prove to you you have done the worst thing of your life, and you have to stop for your own good. They miring up you friends and colleagues, and warn them, watch out, Jessica has gotten into some crazy deal.
OMG, have you been talking to some of my friends and family?
Haha, not just yours but mine too. Okay, so what if I were to say to you, there is an apple farm across the road, and you and Victoria and Pat all have 10 minutes to get over there, grab as many ripe apples as humanly possible, and for every ripe apple you bring back I would give you $10,000.
Really?
The question is, how long would you stick around talking to green or rotten apples?
Not at all. Just look for all the ripe apples.
You see, most people in sales and networking don't think like this. They get stuck. They get into the convincing game. Imagine standing in front of a rotten apple begging it to turn ripe, or being in front of a green apple, hoping it will ripen before your eyes. The trick is to identify who is ripe, who is green, and who is rotten.
Now I get it. I've been spending most of the time trying to prove to rotten apples they are wrong and hoping green apples become ripe.
So the key is to identify what type of apple someone is. When you come across rotten ones, just say thanks, this might not be for you at this time. Don't let them suck energy out of you. Green apples can be awesome. Put them into an education pipeline, email, autoresponders, keep them updated, pass on the information they require. They will, or will not, ripen in their time, not in your time frame. And the ripe apples, well, send them to a short presentation. They might need a longer presentation. You may need to do a 3-way call, or conference call, with one of your business partners. They may want to go to a physical presentation or a webinar. Get them the information they need now and help them get enrolled.
Yes, it all makes perfect sense now. Oh, I never thought fruit picking would impact my business in such a profound and positive way.
So, now the trick is how to you simply and easily identify what a type of apple someone is. There are many ways to do this. Jessica, you are in the gold business, right?
Yes, Mr. Gold, you know that.
I want you to have a look at how Victoria does this, in a very simple fashion, and you watching from home, please watch the next video. Watch how Victoria simply identifies what type of apple he is, and send him to a short presentation. She resists the urge to pitch him, to sell him. She just identifies if he is a ripe apple. Okay, that's it from me for this segment. I trust fruit picking will also improve your business. Go and check out the next video. This is Mr. Gold, signing off. Bye for now.